Well, as usual, I figured I'd better wait a few seconds before I start talking because I don't know if this is actually going up on a live stream. It's now 22 seconds, 25 seconds in, and I don't see any icon change there. But I'm going to go ahead and stay. Oh, there we go. Now we got it. Hello, everyone. Welcome as you come in. This is not going to be a very friendly, nice, sociable post. Thank you for letting me know I'm 5x5. It's going to be kind of quick, but I just wanted to bring this up because it goes to the very heart of all the things that I've been talking about. You might be wondering why I titled this video, If Woman Can Survive, President Nelson Proves to be Azazel. Azazel is a fallen angel. I don't know if that was the exact one in the Garden of Eden that attacked woman so that he could attack the man-woman relationship, as I have long talked about. But also there was a song that was written, I think it was in the late 60s or early 70s. It was called In the Year 2525. And part of the lyrics were, if woman can survive, if woman can survive. It was a very prophetic song, actually, if you want to look it up. I forget exactly who the artists were, but the name of the song is In the Year 2525. Some of you may know which one I'm talking about. A good friend of mine, who most of you know, or should at least recognize, Brand Thornton, sent me a link, actually a picture of a post, and I've put it in the description box below, my particular Twitter response to this post that he sent me about what's going on. I risk being taken down off YouTube for this, but I don't care at this point, and I haven't cared for a long time. You speak truth or you just don't say anything at all. I don't care what the CRT is. I don't care what the woke crowd says. I don't care what the Lima, Golf, Bravo, Tango, etc. group thinks, or how you look at it. The destruction of mankind is revolved around destroying the man-woman relationship. And so many people are falling into this. Not just the Sodom part of it, but the resistance to making sure that these relationships carry on, even somewhat at your inconvenience. Those who stand by truth, even when it's inconvenient, are the real heroes. And I'm finding more day in and day out that there are very few that will stand by truth, even when it is inconvenient. And that even means the rank and file. I see it every single day. Yeah, I'm aiming primarily at the president of the Mormon Church right now, President so-called prophet, seer, and revelator Nelson. But this goes to a lot of others too. Those who pretend to be spiritual leaders who know the truth but really aren't. And I could name a lot more, but I'm including some of the major denominations. But I'm just going to point at Nelson right now. Because as I've said in some previous videos, what they did to me back in the 1980s, what they assisted to do to me, showed what their real intentions are and who they really worship and who they bow the knee to. And I predicted back in the 80s that at some point they would accept Sodom and Gomorrah. Isaiah, when he said, and their sin is as Sodom, they hide it not. And they are doing it now, under the guise of the federal government's going to make them do it. So they've got to save their 501c3 status. And they've got to do what their God in Washington, D.C. requires them to do. And they will do it. Despite what Mike Lee tried to do, which was a noble thing, Senator Mike Lee, tried to put an amendment into this entire thing so that they won't come after people who don't want to believe this or to support it, who have religious beliefs, spiritual beliefs, moral beliefs against it. But they're going to come after you, ladies and gentlemen. This is the way they're going to do it. And the president of the Mormon Church and his so-called apostles in name only are pushing this entire thing. And you Mormons better wake the hell up. You are being sent down to the road to hell. Absolutely, 100%. If you raise your hand and ever sustain this group of perverts at 47 East South Temple again, you will be held responsible. Knowingly or unknowingly. You do that and your ignorance will convict you. So, in the link in the description box below is a link to my Twitter account where you can go look at this situation that's happening at the DC Temple, DC Mormon Temple on December 6th. Whether it's approved by the church or not, they have, by their actions, yeah, that's right, Zager and Evans, thank you. Thank you very, very much. That's who did year 2525. You're on top of things there, Judith. Kennigan? Is that how you say your name? Thank you so much. You're very kind. Yeah, I knew that. I just wanted to get this out there. Just like in the Garden of Eden, it's about destroying woman. Do you understand, people? It's about destroying women. Can't you see it with all the things that are going on now? Oh, women's rights a few years ago, women's lib, etc., etc. And now they've got to the point where they've got men acting as women. And they're protected. And you're not. Do you not see where this is going? And now the Mormon church is supporting it. And probably lots of other Christian denominations, obviously. But I can't name them all, but it's obvious from what we see. God bless Brand for sending me this, but I already knew it. They can't deny allowing these people into their sacred temple for eternal marriage because they'll get sued at the very least. And they may lose their 501c3 status at the worst or be held in criminal court for what they're doing if they try to deny it. Ladies and gentlemen, the Christian churches, unless they stand up against this, even at the peril of their own persecution, prosecution, internment, death, if they don't stand up against this, this is the crux of the matter, ladies and gentlemen, which is why I have been focusing on this whole thing for so long. And here it is. I put out some videos some time ago about, it's in the religion playlist, I think. I'm not sure. Where I explained that I am woman's strongest advocate. And I don't think people really understood what I was saying. They thought I was a chauvinist or a sexist. Oh, I am. I wanted to protect women. Besides what anybody thinks about how I conducted my private life, it was about protecting women and children. End of story. And the state, including the federal government, and the Mormon church and other churches stood against the patriarchal principles of the Old Testament and the New, which were not done away with. I don't care what anybody says. Women and children are to be protected by a strong patriarch. And they denied it. And now, and as I predicted, they would now embrace the principles of Sodom and Gomorrah to the destruction of women and children. And of course, men in the end too. And it's all by, I don't even want to say Satan. Satan's the wrong term. It's by the fallen angels. Azazel and his group. However you look at that, and there's some disagreements on which ones were involved. But there were about 200 of them according to some of the ancient writings. No, we're not the fallen angels. I'm sorry, those of you who preach that people like me are the fallen angels. No. We're just subject to them to some extent right now to see if we will rise up and become what we are supposed to become. And when you preach, and you know who you are, and I'm not going to name you here, but you preach that men and women on the earth today, by and large, are products of the fallen angels or fallen angels themselves, you are part of the problem. We're here to learn what this true evil is about, and we're there right now. It's not even the war in Ukraine with Russia. It's not with China. It's not even the BLM and Antifa. And what RIC is doing in a broad scale to cause all this dissension in our country, in our nation, in the United States, and across the world. It's not even that. It's attacking the very foundation of mankind, which is the man-woman relationship. And so many of you have fallen into it. You're tolerating the most evil, disgusting, despicable. Isaiah called it what? Does anybody know what Isaiah called all of this? The disgusting thing. Here we are. Am I emotional and distraught? Oh, Roy, you don't trust in God. He's going to fix it. I'm not that naive. There are a lot more things that I could say, but I'm not going to. The only counsel that I see coming from God in this whole thing. Yes, you've got to stand up for what's right. You've got to say your piece. You've got to declare what's right and wrong. But in the end, the most important thing is to do whatever you can to separate yourself, to stand in the holy place, to separate yourself and get away. Pray, and stay out of the way, because nothing's going to fix this. Except, as I've said, the destruction of these idiots in D.C. and across North America that are pushing this, and of course Europe as well, who are the lackeys. These people here are the lackeys of these assholes and idiots over here. And they're proving it right now. These guys here are destroying Europe right now. And Europe's bowing down on their knees saying, oh, please, please, tell us what to do next. Give us money. Launder it through this little country here. It's the most corrupt in the whole world. And just give us your dollars. And we'll do anything that you tell us to do. Give us a seat at your table of destruction and evil. God damn you. God damn you. What else can I say? Everything is as I said it was going to be. You threw me out of your society so that you could embrace what this government here and this church here are pushing, are bringing to the forefront. You reap what you sow. A lot of you are saying, hey, we're just tolerating a different viewpoint of life. It isn't that. It's destruction of mankind at the very basis of our existence and what brings us to pass. God bless you, Brand, for sending this to me. I knew it was coming. I knew it was coming. You know, I've said it since the 80s. I showed it. In this book here, which is no longer in print, I talked about it in 1986. And I said we'd be here today. And the way God takes care of stuff like this is he sends a foreign nation to destroy those who are corrupt and evil. Russia's going to kick our ass, whether it's economically, which they're already doing. Oh, we're taking advantage of these poor people in Europe, no doubt, charging them unreasonable prices for LNG, etc. We destroyed the Nord Stream pipeline with the help of the UK, who are our lackeys. Or some people would say we're their lackeys. Doesn't matter. It's all the same. Prep, pray, stay out of the way. Flee Babylon the best that you can. Do not give in to this corrupt evil. It's not even satanic. Satanic's the wrong word. Satan is the tet, the instructor, the tester, the accuser. He's not the evil one that fell and took over God's creation. He's not the one. That's not it. So they even identify Satan as the bad one. He's not the one. He's not it. And I've talked about that forever. Lucifer isn't even him, because Lucifer just means light bearer. That's not his name. And you women who have lost your purpose and think that you need to stand in where men are. Oh, Isaiah did say that I will show you a strange thing in the earth. In these last days, a woman shall compass a man. In other words, protect him. Yeah, that's true. But that's not all of you. Most of you have fallen for this evil, degenerate denial of what you were created to be. Maybe not most of you. Maybe that's an overgeneralization. But that's how I've seen it over the last decade minimum. So you Mormon church leaders, you evil bunch of demonic, devilish, deceitful, angels of Azazel. And I know there are other, and people will say, well, Mormons aren't Christian. No, I'm not going to argue that. Not here. Other Christian churches have done the same thing and are in the process of it because they don't want to be looked upon and persecuted. So they'll take the easy way out. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I did not take the easy way out. Even when it meant the destruction of all I held dear. The tearing away of my loved ones from me. I still didn't hold it back. And I'm not patting myself on the back, but now your destruction is here. Don't you see it? And I've regretted this day for decades. And here it is. Am I perfect? Hell no, I'm not perfect. God used a weakness of mine to make a testimony. He actually gave me a reason, a way to use my weakness to stand for something that's true. I didn't even design it that way. It just happened. Do I weep because we're going to lose? No. God will win. But it's that you've thrown away. So many of you have thrown away the purpose of your creation because of a sales pitch from demons. I'm in no position to judge And it may all turn out good in the end, but in the meantime, they don't even do this shit in Russia. I mean, it exists there, but they don't promulgate it. They don't, as Isaiah said, they don't throw it out for consumption, but we do, and worse. And to think I spent almost 3 decades thinking that I was pushing for truth, justice, liberty, and to find out that my labor was used to take away people's lives and liberty disgusts me. And that's why I've done this channel. Try to pay back some portion of it. I am heartbroken. God damn you, President Biden. And all of you who have fallen in line with him or have pushed in this direction. And God damn you, Mormon Church President Nelson. You liar and deceiver. And don't kid yourselves, Catholics, and all the rest of you. There's a smoke screen out there. Those people that stand at the head of your organizations aren't really who they pretend to be. That's all I've got. Go check the link in the description box below. And by the way, I got to tell you, my religious history is kind of complicated, but I was basically a Catholic before my mom decided that I should be a Mormon. I was 17 years old, and I worked on building. I was one of the, I certainly didn't build the whole thing, but we did small little parts of building the temple there in D.C., just off of 495. And to see now where this has gone, for whatever reason, God plucked me out, even in my weakness, and said, you got to come out of that. It's not working. And I have had to stand and call it out. And I would do it all again. And our government is the empire of lies, the U.S. government, the empire of lies, the empire of death, the empire of the banks. And that Mormon church and a lot of other denominations are just tools in their toolbox. You all take care. Out here.